On Global TV News Express, resident doctors to begin indefinite strike November 1st. Business, Central Bank of Nigeria vows to sustain reforms after Nigerians' removal from money laundering watch lists. On the foreign scene, Cameroon opposition leaders arrested as protests erupt over contested elections. And in sports, Nigerian tries Samau 4 goals to 0 to reach last 16 of Under-17 Women's World Cup. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times, channels 276. And now the news in details. The National Association of Resident Doctors has declared an indefinite nationwide strike beginning November 1st, citing the federal government's failure to meet key demands. The association wants a 200% salary increase, new allowances, immediate recruitment of staff, and the removal of bottlenecks affecting doctors' replacement. The association's president, Dr. Muhammad Suleiman, directed members to hand over patients and sensitize the public ahead of the action, warning that attempts to exploit doctors will be collectively resisted. In the meantime, the federal government says 20 million Nigerians are now enrolled in health insurance schemes, with plans to reach 44 billion by 2030. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Muhammad Ali Pate, said the milestone aligns with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and marks a new record of 2.4 million new enrollees in 2024. He added that the policy will cut high out-of-pocket spending, while the National Health Insurance Authority has been directed to ensure hospitals do not deny treatment to insured citizens. Nigeria's Constitution's Review Committee has approved the creation of an additional state in the southeast, addressing long-standing calls for equity among geopolitical zones. The decision was reached during a two-day retreat in Lagos, chaired by Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibril and co-chaired by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. Lawmakers described the move as one driven by fairness and unity, with a subcommittee set up to also review the creation of more states and local governments across all zones. The Nigerian Railway Corporation says the Warri-Itakpe train service will resume operations on Wednesday, 29 October 2025. The corporation's Chief Public Relations Officer, Callistus Unyemadu, disclosed this in a statement weeks after the corporation suspended train operations along that route. According to the agency, the temporary suspension became necessary to enable the corporation to carry out essential repairs, system checks, and maintenance on the tracks and rolling stock to enhance passengers' safety and service reliability. The People's Democratic Party has constituted a 13-member screening committee ahead of its November 15th National Convention in Ibadan. The committee is chaired by senior advocates, with Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri serving as head of the organizing committee. Despite ongoing internal disputes and a pending court case challenging the exercise, the party says screening of aspirants will commence to Tuesday as preparations continue. Igede youth in Benue State have taken to the streets to protest the deplorable condition of the Otukpo Obi-Oju Road. The protesters are calling on the federal government to urgently rehabilitate the highway, which they say has become a death trap for commuters and heaven for criminals. Benue State correspondent Felicity Nduri reports.
In a peaceful demonstration, but one that conveyed deep frustration, hundreds of Igede youth poured onto the Otukpo Obi-Oju Road, demanding immediate government intervention to fix what they described as a failed federal road.
What do you want? Fix Otukpo Obi-Oju Road!
For decades, the road has remained in a dilapidated state, According to youth, until the road is fixed, they will continue to raise their voices, hoping that one day their cries will translate into concrete action.
But when it comes to the border area of Ijegu, down to Igede land, the tractors and everybody will disappear like salt inside water. We are tired. We will not take it again. We have come and we are going to remain here 3 days after today. If you don't attend to us, we are human beings. We give our vote to the federal government. We give our vote to the state government. We give our vote to every other person and contributed to national development. We cannot be left like this. So this is just a warning.
The protesters say the hardship caused by the poor road goes beyond inconveniences. It threatens lives and livelihoods, forcing motorists and commuters to endure endless delays, vehicle breakdowns, and in some cases, attack by bandits, taking advantage of stranded travelers.
And the election is coming. We don't want this road to become a campaign strategy for our politicians. Because this road has become a campaign strategy. What they normally do during the election, they come and start giving us lies that if you vote for me, this road is going to be fixed.
When they ask us to vote for them, we always turned out in large numbers. But now it's time for them to help us. They refuse to listen to our voices. What should we do? We are tired. They should fix our road. We can no longer go to the market.
Drivers and commuters say going through the routes daily is a journey of frustration and loss.
And my customer, when they wait for Avoja to carry, I don't give them. They worry me. They say, I don't chop your car. I don't say they divert their car. And I'm no day. Why supposed to go and carry car since they about 3 days ago now? No movement. And no way to do to me again, to survive the motor again.
We are on the road. They are supposed to come and check the road, even if they won't repair it. This road has been in existence before I was born. Now I am grown. I'm plying the road too. Sometimes we spend 2 days on the road, eating food and drinking water that is not too.
The protesters, therefore, as a matter of urgency, are appealing to the Federal Ministry of Works and the Benue State government to prioritize the rehabilitation of the Otukpo Obi Oju Road in the next phase of infrastructure projects. In Otukpo, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
The Nigerian Environmental Society has rounded off its 34th National Conference with a grand finale and 40th anniversary celebration in Abuja. The event highlighted 4 decades of consistent advocacy for environmental protection and sustainable development. Ubong Usoro reports.
It was a night of reflection, recognition, and renewed commitment as members of the Nigerian Environmental Society gathered to celebrate 40 years of driving environmental awareness and policy action in Nigeria. The event featured a presentation of awards to deserving members who have contributed to the society's growth and impact over the years. Speakers commended NES journey from a small advocacy group to a national voice for sustainable and environmental justice. The national president of the Nigerian Environmental Society, Dr. Efebidike Okobia, stated that the organization will continue its advocacy towards environmental sustainability.
For us, we are indeed grateful that the society is 40 years. But we are not just celebrating 40 years, we are celebrating landmark achievements and also planning and strategizing for the next 40 years.
The National Secretary of the Society, Dr. Adewale Adeyemi, said the milestone reflects the organization's resilience and continued drive to promote cleaner and greener communities.
This was just a society that was just like a mustard seed planted by a few people, about 10 of them 40 years ago. Now, from just 1 chapter in Lagos, it has grown to 36 chapters in Nigeria and 1 chapter in UK.
Also speaking, Emeritus Professor Babajide Alu, former Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, described NES as a catalyst for positive environmental change in Nigeria.
We have also remained very, very relevant in Nigerian society. We are recognized as the premier NGO for environment in Nigeria. We are recognized as the leading society, government parastatals, everybody come to us.
As the grand finale draws to a close, members reaffirm their commitment to promoting sustainable cities, strengthening partnership, and creating a healthier, greener environment for current and future generations. Ubong Usoro for Global Television, Abuja.
Broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Flamingos trust a mile 4 goes to 0 to reach last 16 of Under-17 Women's World Cup. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. In business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria has pledged to sustain reforms following Nigerians' removal from the Financial Action Task Force grey list. The bank said the milestone reflects improvements in anti-money laundering, compliance, interagency coordination, and financial transparency. The CBN added that reforms such as updated anti-money laundering regulations and foreign exchange governance tools have strengthened global confidence in Nigeria's financial system. The Nigerian Customs Service Fincan Island Port Command has intercepted 2 containers of vehicles concealing illicit drugs worth 5.3 billion naira. Controller Frank Onyeka said the seizures contains cannabis, hashish oil, and crystal meth were made following coordinated intelligence and enforcement efforts. The confiscated substances have been handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for further investigation, with Customs vowing to intensify its crackdown on drug trafficking and trade violations. The federal government has taken another major step towards inclusive agricultural development with the validation of the revised National Gender Policy in Agriculture and its Strategic Action Plan for 2025 to 2030. Our correspondent, Anyete Patrick, reports that the policy aims to bridge gender gap in access to land, finance, and decision-making across Nigeria's agricultural sector.
The validation workshop held in Abuja brought together key stakeholders from government agencies and the National Assembly to development partners and Farmer Association. The revised policy led by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is designed to promote inclusivity, equity, and productivity across the agricultural value chain.
Having law protect productivity and inclusivity, the National Gender Policy in Agriculture in our collective response framework that ensure equal participation, equitable allocation of resources, and targeted support for women, men, young farmers, and possible disadvantaged.
According to the ministry, the document is the product of a year-long consultative process involving more than 1,200 stakeholders across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Marcus Ogumbi, said the policy marks a milestone in mainstreaming gender equality into agricultural planning and budgeting.
This policy will serve as a guiding framework for our actions and decisions in ensuring that the needs and perspectives of women and other vulnerable groups are integrated into agricultural development.
For the chairperson of the National Gender Steering Committee and Food Systems Specialist at Action Aid Nigeria, Azubike Nwokoye, the policy reflects current realities, including the need to tackle gender-based violence and support young farmers.
This revised National Gender Policy in Agriculture, we reflected over the gaps we have seen. You know, as we have been working with the policy, there are contextual issues that are coming up. There are things that are changing that we need to also reflect and also put in some action.
The revised National Gender Policy in Agriculture is expected to be presented to the National Council on Agriculture for endorsements, setting the stage for more inclusive agricultural growth and better food and nutrition security nationwide. Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, two Cameroonian opposition leaders backing presidential challenge Issa Chiroma Bakary have been arrested following disrupted elections. Anicet Ekane of the African Movement for New Independence and Democracy and Jukam Chamani of Movement Democratic Integral were taken from their homes by elite forces after Chiroma claimed victory against long-term ruler Paul Biya. The rest have sparked outrage from opposition groups who described the move as intimidation ahead of the official announcement of results. New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani has given an emotional speech addressing what he called racist, baseless attacks from his opponents. A day before early voting begins in the race he is projected to win. Speaking outside the Marks in the Bronx, Mamdani criticized his opponents for being, in his words, heated the front, noting that this not only affects him as a Democratic nominee for mayor, but also close to 1 million Muslims living in New York. Uyi Agbamufegbe has the rest of the story.
Mamdani, who is currently a member of the New York State Assembly, said while he had tried to focus his election campaign on his core message of affordability, his opponents in recent days has shown that Islamophobia has emerged as one of the few areas of agreement. His speech also came a day after his top opponent, former New York State's Governor Andrew Cuomo, laughed after a radio host, Sid Rosenberg, said Mamdani would be cheering if another September 11 attack occurs.
It is whether we are willing to say goodbye to anti-Muslim sentiment that has grown so endemic in our city that when we hear it, we know not whether the words were spoken by a Republican or a Democrat. We know only that it was spoken in the language of politics of this city. In an era of ever-diminishing bipartisanship, it seems that Islamophobia has emerged as one of the few areas of agreement.
Zoran Mamdani, New York mayoral candidate. Mamdani had earlier received a long-anticipated endorsement from Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democratic Party in the U.S. House of Representatives and the representative of New York's 8th Congressional District, which includes the Brooklyn neighborhoods of East Flatbush, Coney Island, and Brownsville. Uyi Agbamufegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
And in sport, Nigerians under-17 women's team have advanced to the knockout stage of the World Cup after thrashing Samoa 4-0 in Morocco. Queen Joseph bagged a brace while Shakirat Mashoud and Azizat Oduntang added one each as the Flamingos finished third in their group. The victory gives Nigeria a +3 goals difference, setting up a round of 16 clash with North Korea on Tuesday. Rivers United have qualified for the group stage of the CAF Championship League after defeating Mozambique Black Bulls 3-1 in Uyo. Goals from Wasiu and Timothy secured a 3-2 goals agitated victory for the Nigerian side. Coach Finindi praised his players' resilience, saying the win highlights Nigerians' growing strength in continental football. British heavyweight Anthony Joshua says a long-awaited fight with Tyson Fury is more possible now than ever, insisting Fury has run out of options. Joshua says the bout is the clearest path of claiming his throne and restoring British boxing dominance. The two former world champions have yet to face each other despite years of speculation, but Joshua believes the time has finally come for the showdown. As Global TV News Express comes to an end, let's take a look at our top stories. The National Association of Resident Doctors have declared an indefinite nationwide strike beginning November 1st, citing the federal government's failure to meet key demands. In business, The Central Bank of Nigeria has pledged to sustain reforms following Nigerians' removal from the Financial Action Task Force grey list. And on the foreign scene, 2 Cameroonian opposition leaders backing presidential challengers Issa Chiroma Bakary have been arrested following disputed elections. And in sports, Nigerians on the 17 women's team advanced to the knockout stage of the World Cup after thrashing Samoa 4 goals to 0 in Morocco. That's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on the STV, channel 365 on StarTimes, channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms, now showing on your screen using Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakub. Say thank you for watching.